Hello everyone, this is Mr. Pelt, and we're going to look at systems of linear and nonlinear equations. So you've learned in Algebra 1 and again this year that we can have a system of lines. So I can have a line like that. I'm just going to do rough sketches here to kind of illustrate the point. A line like that and then another line like this. And when we graph them both, we find that they can have a solution, and most of the time they have one solution, meaning one place where they intersect, so one point that they have in common that they share. But then of course we also saw situations where you might not have a solution. You might have two lines that never meet because they're parallel, and so you can have a system with no solutions. So that's one option that can happen when we have lines. But now we're going to look at some different situations. So for example, let's say I have a system where I have an equation of a line, and then I have an equation with that's a quadratic, that's a parabola. Well, if I have a parabola that looks something like that, there's a couple scenarios. I could have what I have right here. Let me just move this down so it's a little more in the middle. Here there's no solution because they don't meet, but then I could have a situation where they meet once, where they just touch in one spot. Or I could have a situation where they meet twice, so they could have two solutions. And then we could introduce some of the other curvy graphs that we've learned about. I'm going to make a better looking parabola because that one's bothering me. So we could have a parabola like that, and let's say a circle. And so you could have a system of equations where one is a circle and one is parabola. And in that scenario, you could have no solutions like we have here. You could have one solution where they just touch once. You could have two solutions where they cross like that. You could have even more than that. You could have three solutions. This is not the best example. Let me draw a little better looking parabola to illustrate this. Right, so you could have a parabola that just does something like this, where it touches it three times. You could have a system with four different solutions, right, where it touches 1, 2, 3, 4. So lots of different scenarios you can have when we start introducing different kinds of equations. So what we're going to look at in this unit is all those different scenarios where we graph, and we can see where the solutions are or where there aren't any. And then we can also, later on in the unit, we'll look at algebraic solutions. So how do we solve those systems using algebra without using graphs? So that's all for now. Thanks.